This video is going to show you how to take apart a controller, PS4 controller, and put it back together. It'll save you money. And yeah. Alright. What you're going to need is one of these small ass screwdriver sets. They're my camera's not I can't get it to focus well, so I don't know, but you can read that. You get the idea, right? Right, cool. So you want to take the small shit that's out of here. It's this one here. It's real small. I don't know if it'll zoom in on that or not. Fuck no. Anyways, you get the point. It's a tiny Phillips head. Or not Phillips head. It's not the flat one. It's the other one. I don't even know the fucking name of it, but you get the point, right? Right. Cool. There's 4 screws back here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take them out. Also, you want to have like maybe a pill bottle or something sitting around, which you can put the screws in. They are small. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you lose one, it's not the end of the world. But if you're OCD like myself, and you have a hard time with certain shit in life, if you're mentally challenged like myself, then yeah, you're going to have issues. But back to the video. Take these screws out. I'm taking them out right now. Is what's going on. Okay. I'm trying to show you. It's not a real good video. I'm kind of disappointed in this camera, to be honest with you. Up close, it's a pile of dog shit. It's fucking awful. If you're like myself and you have big ass hands, you're going to have an issue with these. Or with this. It's not hard, you just take them out. It's the last one right here. If you're wondering why I got a band-aid on my thumb, I got some foul shit growing. I got hand surgery Wednesday. Yeah. Alright, so once the 4 screws is out, you're going to see this right here. It's the 2 pieces that they don't connect. I'm not really sure how they connect, but you want to take a flat piece, which would be one of these. Real fine, small piece. And you want to put it in there. You want to work it in that groove in there. Now, the reason being is the first time you take these apart, they are pretty snug, to say the least. So you're going to have to apply some pressure. Do not be afraid to apply pressure. I'm telling you this because you're going to feel like you're going to break it. And that's kind of what you want. If you baby it, if you're a little bitch and you baby it, you'll never get it apart. So, since I already have it apart, but like I said, you want to... This groove right here is what we're after. Let me see if I can get you to see that. That groove right there, you want to wedge this in there and just pop it open. Now, I'm not going to do it because I don't have to, because I've already done it. Once you do that and you have that ability, take your thumbs, okay, and it will come open. Like I said, you got to kind of man up a little bit. Don't be afraid. And once it comes apart, you want to disconnect You want to disconnect this right here. Not from there. You disconnect it from there, you're fucked. Disconnect it from the battery part, which is right here on the motherboard. Okay? So disconnect that. Boom, that's off. That's step one. Okay? Done. Now what's left here, let me spin this so you guys get an idea while you're looking at it. What's left here is the battery. The battery's plugged into the board, which is right here. You want to disconnect the battery. Okay, disconnect it from that. Boom, pull that off. That's step two. Step three. Right here is another screw that needs to come off. What this does is it holds the board and it holds the board to this battery holster. So you take this screw out here. Let me spin this a little bit so I can get my hands on it. Take that off. Now you're going to feel, you want to make sure your hand, you want to make sure you're holding it the way I'm holding it. And once you take that off of there, all you do is take that tray, pop that out. Boom. Done. Now comes the part where you're taking off the front piece here, the front of the controller. If you have control freaks or thumb grips or whatever you have, you need to take them off. While you're doing all this, you want to apply pressure to the bottom of this board with your hand right here. Okay? You ain't got to squeeze the shit out of it, but you want to at least get a snug grip on it. Take them grips off. Take them grips off. And what the hell do I got going on over here? Take them grips off. And then put the board, depending on if you're left or right-handed. I'm right-handed, so I'm comfortable putting the board side on my right hand and just taking it apart. You'll figure it out once you're into it. You want to put your thumb on this little plastic piece across here and take that apart. Now, when you do this, you want to kind of do it gently, because what you don't want to happen is, and it's not the end of the world if it happens, but what you don't want to happen is you do not want to disconnect the, you don't want to disconnect, all right, this piece is off. This is the front plate. What you don't want to happen is your LED pad, or whatever the hell they call this on a controller, this piece here, the touchpad. What you don't want to happen is you don't want it. Right here is a tab. That's there's 3 tabs in this that you're removing. You're taking the tab to disconnect the bottom piece. Then you're taking the tab to disconnect the battery. Then you're taking this tab to disconnect the touchpad, but you don't have to disconnect the touchpad. If you disconnect the touchpad, and this tab piece right here that I'm messing with comes out of where it's supposed to be pushed in through, so you can plug it into the board. It's going to cause a nightmare. And the best way I figured out how to do it was to tie a piece of yarn, like a piece of sewing string or something to it, and fish it through. It is a nightmare. It'll, listen to me, you'll go see a psychiatrist after you're done with it, I promise you. It'll make you want to fuck something up. All right, so what you do is we want to plug that back in to the board. And it's just real small. It's real easy. It just slides right in there. You can see where we're at here. But it is going to slide back into here on the board. Straight in, facing it. It don't go in the back. It goes straight in the front. So I'll show you after I push it in there. Boom, it's that easy. It takes seconds. Boom, it's in there. Okay? So that's, what is that? We on 3? I don't even fucking remember. All right. So now what you have in front of you is the actual layout of the controller. And this is the part where if you experience in first-person shooter games where you're running automatically and your character stops running, or you have aim drift where you go to aim and the shit skyrockets up in the sky, this is where this is going to save you money. Now what you want to do, these are the toggles right here. Right now I'm having aim drift problems. It's on my right side. My left side seems to be okay, but my right side, the aim, there's a problem. So all I'm going to do is pop this off. Now, before I pop that off, keep this in mind. Always keep your hands on the bottom of the board. Okay, you want to keep pressure on the back side, because now there's really nothing holding the board to the remaining parts of the controller. Okay, so this here is the right side. This is the left side. Okay, left, right. All I'm doing is taking that off. Okay, and I'm going to spin it 180 degrees and reapply it. And I'll show you why it's only spun 180. It's the cutout of the actual controller. I don't know if you can see in there or not. Probably not. Yeah, you can see that. There's a groove in there, and how it slides onto the actual controller is how it goes on. So you spin it and you stick it right back on. Real simple. Now when you go to apply that back on, when you go to apply the thumbstick back on, take your pointer finger, apply pressure on the bottom of the board, and just pop it back on. Boom. Back on. Problem solved. Okay. Now comes the, somewhat tricky part, but I've done this enough. To get through it really quick. When you put the controller back together, you just want to do reverse, what is it called? Reverse engineering, I guess. Put that back up there like that, okay? Now, the tricky part is getting the touchpad underneath this bar right here. My lighting is fucking downright hideous. That bar right there, okay? You got to get the touchpad to go underneath of that, because this bar sits on the back on the back of it. Okay? That's the only way you can attach it. So what you want to do is take the touchpad, pull it off of the thing. Now, do not pull hard, because you don't want to disconnect it from the board back here. Take that off. And with your left thumb, if you're right-handed, with your left thumb, take that off and just slightly push it forward and angle it like that. know if you guys can see that. I hate my camera. There it is. Sort of. Once again, I apologize. I'm buying a new fucking camera after I make this video. This is pitiful. That's the best way I can show it to you. That's how you want it angled. Now, you want this back on here while you're doing that, though. So, let me put this on there. All right, now, how that was, you want the bar in front of the touchpad, but you also want the... What we're going to do here is we're going to take the touchpad and we're going to push it back as far as possible, okay, without disconnecting it. We're going to push it back onto the toggles as far as possible without disconnecting it from the board. We don't want to disconnect it from the board. We don't want to pull it through there because you're going to go fucking nuts, okay? So now, once again, push it back. This is the front of it. Push it back as far as it'll go. Put pressure here on this, okay? And then I'll show you. Keep that in mind, and then we're going to put this on here. Okay, now, pushed all the way back. Hold on. Now, what we're going to do is, I don't know if you guys can see this, but you want that bar to go underneath of the touchpad. So, you take this, you take the top piece of the controller, finagle that in there. It'll work. You gotta just get it in there. Hold on for 1 second here. There we go. You get that up there like that again. You see how far that is? I don't know if you, yeah, you guys could get an idea. That down, I'm pushing it. Okay, it's up there. You want the front piece of the bar to go over that. Push that over that. Or under it. Make sure it goes past the lip. Right here, there's a lip. And boom. You're golden. Now, just take the top of the controller, wiggle it a little bit. I don't really have a pure explanation on how to do this, other than just finagle it, and it'll pop right on. Boom. On there. No problem at all. As you can see, the board is in there. Board's in there. And all we're left with now is putting everything back together from the battery to the back of it. Now, putting the housing that the battery sits in. Why is my lighting atrocious? It is downright awful. It is downright pitiful. This is downright awful. Anyways, what we're taking now is the plastic thing the battery sits in. Line it up. There's going to be 2 holes on your motherboard. One right here. And one right here. I know you can't see that because it's... Okay, if you're looking at it from this angle, it's this hole here. Right there. And it's this hole here. Make sure the holes line up. Boom, it's on there now. With your left hand, you're applying pressure now to the front of the controller. And you're pushing down on the battery bracket just slightly, just enough that it's holding the two together without the screw. But the idea is to get it to hold together with the screw. So now all we're going to do is screw that in there. Done. And that's it. I mean, there's still another little hard part, but it's not that hard. Once you do it a couple times. Now, all we're going to do now is put the battery back on that thing. Plug it back in. Now, you're going to wonder, am I plugging it in the right way? There's how it sits, okay, how the battery is sitting when you put it in there. Plug it straight in. Don't try to spin the fucking wiring. Don't do any of that. Just plug it in. Okay? Just plug it in. And I got it fucking backwards anyways. Okay? So if you see how this is right here, however that wire is sitting, plug it in. If you're confused, the black wire is on the left, the red one's on the right. But you just plug it in. That's it. Look. 1, 2, 3. My hands are fucking massive. I'm sorry. Hold on. 1, 2, boom. It's in. Done. Plugged in. Push it in. Boom. Now, the kind of hard part that I was trying to tell you about is going to be putting this cord, this wiring, I don't know what they call it. It's like a housing unit or a I don't know what the hell the name of it is. It's like a harness for a wiring harness on vehicles when you're connecting shit. The kind of harnessing. You want to. It's going to go in right on this piece here. It plugs right back in. Let me see. I am awful with this. This is pitiful. This is awful. Right here is that black thing. This camera, I'm pissed. It has no up close zoom. It's awful. Okay, it's going to get plugged back into there. I'm fucking heated right now. Now, the easiest way is if you're right-handed with your left hand, this being the left side of the controller. Okay, if you actually had the controller flipped like this, okay, if it was like this, it would be this side here. So left side of the controller, flip it, okay, and it's the left side, but it's looking like it's right, but it's really left. All right, and you want to take that's the angle that you want to be at, right there when you're plugging that back in. That's where you want the bottom piece to be, okay. You want to be, because you want to be able to get your hands in there and see it, okay. You want that's the perfect right there where you want it to be, okay. That you can plug this back in with it being like that. And all we do is get your hands in there, line it up it's like the harness on the touchpad thing. You might want to practice with that once or twice on the touchpad thing, but don't completely pull it out because you'll have to take some kind of string and fish it through. But we're back to plugging this in. You want some decent lighting as well when you do this. This is kind of a pain in the ass, but it's not too bad. Once it lines up, it goes right in. It's getting it lined up is a nightmare. Because I can't see fuck all with this fucking lighting. Boom. It's in there. And then you just slide the piece back on. And you'll hear it crack. Boom. Done. And it'll turn right back on. And then all you do is take the 4 screws that you put in the pill bottle. One by one. Don't fucking dump them like that. Because I'm telling you now, you'll lose one. And if you're an angry person... Yeah. But that's it. Put the screws back in. And then test the controller. If the problem exists, all you got to do is take the controller back apart. And then switch the left thumbstick to the right thumbstick. Go from there. The other advice I have is go to Amazon.com and buy replacement thumbsticks. And I promise you, you will get multiple years out of a controller. The biggest thing about a controller is the buttons and the thumbsticks. All right, that's it. Thank you.